How are you, class? I hope you're good. I'm also good. And today we are going to talk about transport in plants and in animals. And before I introduce the topic, last topic and last lesson we discussed about diffusion. Anyone can remember what did we say is the meaning of diffusion? Yeah, diffusion, we said, is a transport of or the movement of molecules from a region of high concentration to a region of low concentration. And I gave an example of someone who has applied perfume. So the region where he or she is, that's where the region is concentrated. And now the person who is smelling the perfume from far, that the region where is lowly concentrated. Yes, having that knowledge, of which that knowledge you are going to apply in this topic. So let's go on and look the meaning of transport in plants and in animals, what substances are being transported, and what is funny in this topic, and you are going to find it interesting. So I would like everyone to pay attention, and I'm going to ask questions after this class, so pay attention. And yeah, I'm going to, and also we are going to talk about the importance of transport in these plants and in animals. So by the end of this lesson, I want you to be able to define the word transport in plants, and also be able to give the importance of transport in animals, and also importance of transport in plants. So let's begin our topic. We are going to begin with definitions. So let's look what is the meaning of transport in plants. Transport in plants, it refers to the movement of water, nutrients, and other substances throughout different parts of the plant. Which are these parts of the plant that these substances move through? So the first part is root. Root, it's where mineral salts and water pass through from the soil, and the water and mineral salts are found in the soil. So through roots, water is absorbed. And the other plant organ is leaves. So here nutrients are essential. So nutrients move into the leaves, and now these are the leaves which you feed on. So when you go and buy some sukuma wiki, these sukuma wiki leaves have these nutrients. So the other organ is stem. Example of a plant which you feed on stem is, anyone who can answer? Yeah, cassava. A good trial, but cassava, you don't feed on stem, but you've tried. Sugarcane, we feed on its stem. So through that stem, it's where nutrients are, sugar, and other substances. So now, figuring on what I've said about transport in plants, the plants transport water, nutrients, and other substances throughout these different paths that we have said. This is primarily achieved through the vascular tissues, as we said before, xylem and phloem. Now, xylem, in the previous class we said, the function of the xylem is transport water and mineral salts. from the roots. So this xylem is where water and mineral salt is transported. And phloem, it's where the nutrients and other dissolved substances, they are transported. So these products, there are many examples of these products, like carbon dioxide, which is a product of photosynthesis, oxygen, sugar, and yeah, there are so many. So these products, they are transported from leaves to other parts of the plant. Let's go to the next definition in animals. In animals, transport involves the movement of substances like oxygen, nutrients, hormones, and waste products within the body. Examples of hormones are like luteinizing hormone. Yeah, hormones are the substances which control emotions, feelings, and so forth. So in animals, these are the substances which are transported. The circulatory system, comprising of the heart, blood vessels, and blood, plays a very central role in this process. Blood carries oxygen from respiratory organs to cells, transports nutrients derived from digestion, circulates hormones, and removes waste products from excretion. So the function of blood, I've given several functions of blood. These are carrying oxygen from respiratory organs to cells. These respiratory organs are like lungs. Lung is an example of respiratory organ. So this blood is transported to other cells. The next function of blood is to transport nutrients derived from digestion. So when you feed your food, the next step is to be digested. And where is this food digested? This food is digested to give out nutrients. And examples of nutrients, they are like vitamins, which they are used to body to build the body. So when the food is digested, we get nutrients. And now, yes, when the transport gets in, the nutrients are transported to other body parts. So that's when you see some people are big, others are small, others are thick, thin. Yeah, and that's life. The other function is to remove waste products from excretion. An example is kidney. So blood, it removes waste products from kidney to make the kidney clear, and also to avoid some diseases. So make sure you get those functions of blood. Yeah, I'm going to ask after the class. There been no any question about transport in animals. We can go to the next subtopic, which is types of transport. Anyone can give me any type of transport? I know you know. Just give me any type of transport that you know. Yeah, let's look at these types of transport. The first transport is physical transport. Physical transport, it pertains to the movement of objects like human beings, animals, and these objects, they need energy to be transported. So that's why you feed, so that you get energy to transport things. That's why we feed our animals, to get energy to transport things. So physical transport, you can write physical transport pertains to the movement of objects, substances or energy through space. Substances or energy through space. That's very important. This concept is very broad, and it encompasses various phenomena. Example, I have said, example is transportation of goods, transfer of heat, and the movement of particles. Example, in physics, you've been told by your teacher about the movement of particles. So that's the physical transport. Next transport is cellular transport. Cellular transport specifically refers to the process that regulates the movement of molecules across the cell membrane. So this cellular transport, it involves the movement of small particles, small molecules, very tiny, which you cannot see, and this one is found inside the body. So that's why you can find the cellular transport. It is non-feasible. You can never see cellular transport. So yeah, I've said that cellular transport. So it involves cell membrane. This includes passive process like diffusion, just as I told from the previous class, diffusion. So there is no need of repeating the meaning of diffusion because I've already said it. And also active transport, such as active process, such as active transport. This ensures proper balance of substances within the cells. Let's look at diverse definitions of transport in different subjects. Definition in geography. In geographical context, transportation refers to the movement of people, goods, or information from one place to another. It contains various modes such as road transport, air transport, maritime transport, and rail transport, influencing the connectivity of accessibility of regions. So that is also transport. But now, here we are talking about transport in animals and plants. So I think your geography teacher taught you about that. So let's look. Molecular transport is the fourth transport. Molecular transport, it involves the movement of molecules within a system. This can occur through diffusion, where molecules move from areas of higher concentration to lower concentration, or a specialized transport protein in biological system. So, as I have already told you, anything concerning with molecules, here you must find diffusion. So you must note very well what is diffusion, because this concept will help you in many questions. You are going to interfere with it here in class, here in Form 2, Form 3, and also in Form 4. So be very keen, students. So molecular transport, we have said, is the movement, it is a transport of molecules within a system. And this system is either a cell membrane, the body, lungs, yeah. Transportation in chemistry and in engineering. In chemistry, Transportation refers to the movement of substances from one phase to another. For instance, the transport of ions in solution, gas transportation in reaction vessels, or the movement of reactants and products during chemical reactions. Please note that there is diverse definitions. I like the multifaceted nature of concept of transport, ranging from biological process within the cells to the broader societal and engineering aspects of moving people, goods, and information. Transport in animals and in plants, it plays a very crucial role. It helps in maintaining essential life process. That's why I started by saying that transport in plants and in animals is very essential. In plants, transport occurs through the vascular tissues, namely xylem. This is a repetition. It's a repetition. And phloem. Xylem is responsible for the upward transport of water and mineral salts from roots to other parts of the plant, while phloem facilitates the translocation of nutrients. Primarily, these nutrients are sugars from leaves to other parts of tissues. Now let's look in animals. Transport is primarily facilitated by the circular system, comprising of the heart, blood vessels, and blood. The circulatory system in animals ensures that animals have enough oxygen, nutrients, hormones, and waste products to and from the cells through the body. Let's look at the importances of plants. Anyone can give me importances of plants that you have in mind before I introduce my concept of importance? Some of the importances of transport in plants. One is to support and structure. The movement of water in xylem provides tanga pressure, maintaining cell turgidity, and contributing to the structural support of the plant. So this transport, now when it rains, the water, it enters into the plant's tissues. And now, why do you see plants stand upright and they do not bend or they are not flexible? For example, those woody plants which do not bend, it means that they have a lot of tanga pressure. And this tanga pressure, it helps it in cell turgidity. What is a turgid cell? As I said in the concept of diffusion and osmosis, I said that cell turgidity, it is when the cell is very strong, such that if you continue exerting a lot of pressure, it can burst. That's when we say that the cell is turgid. Something is turgid, it is something which it's not flexible. It's very hard. The best word to explain is hard. Something which is very hard. And now, this is where When plants obtain water through the roots, the stem, which contains tissues, and the tissues have cells, now the cells become turgid, and then the plant regains its structure, and now the turgidity, it supports the plant. I hope you have understood by what we meant by turgidity and the first importance of support and structure. Yeah. The next importance is photosynthetic distribution. Now here we are going to look at phloem. Phloem, we said that it facilitates the movement of nutrients and mineral salts. So it translocates sugars. So phloem translocates sugars produced during photosynthesis from source. That is, which is the source? Leaves. To sings. What are sings? Now the sings, they are the growing regions or the storage regions. Those are the structures or the parts which are called sinks. So not the sink and the source, supporting energy and growth requirements. So photosynthetic distribution. Here it's when now the phloem translocates sugars. Translocating is the same as transport, produced during photosynthesis from the source. Phloem translocates sugars produced in leaves during photosynthesis to other parts of the plant for growth, energy, and storage. Let's look at, I want to give you an example of phloem translocation and photosynthetic distribution. In flowering plants, phloem facilitates the movement of sucrose from the leaves to developing fruits, providing them with the energy for fruit growth. So, for example, in flowering plants, the phloem, it facilitates the movement of sucrose to the leaves. Then, from leaves to the developing fruits. So now, look at the source. The source here is the leaves. And now, the seeing here are the developing fruits. These are the growing structures. And also the fruits are the storage structures. And now, it provides them with energy for fruit growth. Number 3 is water and mineral uptake. Water and mineral uptake. Water uptake and mineral uptake is facilitated by the roots. Roots, they are used for absorption of water and mineral salts. So now the roots absorbs water from the soil and mineral salts. Up, they are taken by the xylem, and now the xylem, it transports it to the stem. And now the transportation process from the root to the stem is facilitated. Xylem is very crucial for transporting water, as I have said, and mineral absorbed by the roots from the soil to other parts of the plant. An example is a tall tree. Xylem vessels transport water from the roots to the leaves, maintaining tanker pressure and supporting the process of transpiration. So now when the water is absorbed from the soil, it moves up step by step to the leaves. And now what happens when the water arrives to the leaves? Now if the humidity in the atmosphere is very few, the amount of water transpirated will be very low. If the humidity is very high, What have I said? I've said if the humidity is very low in the atmosphere, the amount of water to be transported or to be transpirated, it will be very high. So the rate of transpiration will be very high. Now, that's why we need water transportation and water absorption from root to the leaves, so that a lot of water is released from the leaves. And now, if the water absorbed is very low, it means that the plant is going to wilt and dry. Now, if the humidity is very high in the atmosphere, the amount of transpiration or the rate of transpiration is going to be very high. Yeah, very high. Very low, not very high. Because there is no need for a lot of water to be transpirated from the leaves. So that's why the water will be very low to be transpirated. Let's look, and that is the end of importance of transporting plants. You can go and check other importances. There are very many. So go and look at the importances of plants. Importance of plants in animals. Oxygen transport. That's the first importance. And oxygen is very crucial. How do we get oxygen from plants? During the day, leaves absorb sunlight. And this one is aided by a substance called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll absorbs light, and now the light is used in photosynthesis. The lights break the chlorophyll molecule, and now the end product is oxygen and water. And now the oxygen is used by animals. That's when we need oxygen. We need oxygen to breathe. Without oxygen, you cannot live. So you need oxygen to breathe. And now, how is this oxygen transported to your body? From lungs from atmosphere into the body, into the lungs and other parts of the body. You need fresh air. Blood through the circulatory system carries oxygen. I've said blood through the circulatory system carries oxygen from the lungs or gills to cells and transports carbon dioxide from cells back to the respiratory organs. So, animals transport oxygen inside, including human beings, transport oxygen inside, and now this oxygen, when it is used, it is mixed up with many other gases, and now you exhale carbon dioxide. That's what you give out, and now the plants receive the carbon dioxide that you've exhaled now to produce again oxygen. Yeah, and it becomes a cycle. So plants give you oxygen and you give them carbon dioxide. Yeah, but during the night, plants do not give out oxygen, they give out carbon dioxide. They give out carbon dioxide because the stomatas are closed. Now, if the stomatas are closed, there is no way they can, and there is no light during the night. So no way plants can receive sunlight and no way they can produce oxygen. That's why they need to breathe in oxygen, and also you yourself, you need to breathe oxygen. So, but there are plants which give out oxygen during the night. Yeah. In humans, hemoglobin in red blood cells binds with oxygen in lungs, forming oxyhemoglobin, which is then transported to tissues for cellular transpiration. You remember cellular transport as I explained. So I said that cellular transport, it involves transportation of molecules. Yeah. Number 2 is nutrient distribution. The circulatory system ensures the distribution of nutrients derived from the digestion to cells, supporting energy production and cellular function. Today, if you don't take food, that means that you'll be weak. It's just the other day I was in somewhere, and now somebody, a man, was buying snacks, and then there was a very big queue. So this guy, I don't know what was the problem, but after some minutes, that guy fainted. So what do you think was the reason of fainting? Maybe he was hungry, and now because the cells needs food to give out energy, that means that the cells are weak and they cannot give out energy. So that's why the man had no energy to stand more, and then that's why he collapsed. So be careful, be careful. Take food to give out so that your cells be strong to give out energy. After the digestion of food in the intestines, nutrients such as glucose are transported by blood vessels to cells throughout the body for energy production. That's why I've told you that you should eat so that your cells may produce energy to support you and for you to be able to do some things. You cannot do a very hard task. Even coming to class without eating is very bad because you will not concentrate. Your stomach cells will be requiring for food, and you here you'll be sleeping. So make sure you take food in the morning and also during the lunchtime, during the night. Yeah, so that you may be strong. When you're full, you'll be able to concentrate in the class and you'll be able to digest the content. Yeah. Hormone circulation. Hormones produced by endocrine glands are transported from the bloodstream, regulating various physiological processes and maintaining homeostasis. An example is insulin produced by the pancreas is transported in the blood and helps regulate glucose levels by facilitating the uptake of glucose by cells. Another one is waste removal. Blood transports metabolic waste products like urea, carbon dioxide from cells to excretory organs for elimination. Some of the excretory organs are like lungs. Lung is an excretory organ. The liver converts toxic ammonia into another excretory organ is the liver, which converts toxic ammonia into less harmful urea, which is then transported by blood to the kidneys for excretion in urine. Understanding these examples highlights the essential nature of transport system in both plants and animals, showcasing the adaptation to ensure the survival and functionality of the respective organ. Class, any question? If you have any question, you can ask, please, because I can see my time is running out. Yeah, you can ask any question. I'm waiting for the questions. With no question, that means that you fully understood my topic. So, I want to ask a few questions about the chapter and what you have understood. How many types of transport do we have? Yes, molecular transport, cellular transport. And what do we mean by cellular transport? Yes, molecular transport. A good try. Very good. Yeah. And give two importances of transport in plants. Yes, we have said support and structure, photosynthetic process. Yeah, in animals we have said hormone, transport, nutrient distribution. Yes. So